stocks were running out and urged the federal government to dispatch more wheat on an urgent basis. Due to the shortages, the price of flour has gone up to 80% in some parts of the country in the past year.
That's BBC's Barasan Etirajan. British officials and space scientists say they are disappointed but not deterred after the first attempt to launch satellites into orbit from the UK failed. News and analysis, townhall.com. A section of the nation's largest fuel pipeline is back in business.
This comes days after it was shut down by a diesel fuel leak in Virginia. Colonial Pipeline says the affected line returned to normal operations Sunday after repairs at the WHIT booster station near Danville. The Georgia-based company says the spill was detected last Tuesday during a routine station check. The 2,500-gallon spill contained on site between soil and an adjacent stormwater retention pond. 20 trucks of contaminated soil expected to be removed from the site, and groundwater wells are being sampled for contamination. John Scott reports.
Former White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders to be sworn in today as Arkansas's 47th governor, assuming a seat her father once held and becoming the first woman in that job. Sanders will take the oath of office in the State House of Representatives before delivering a speech to a joint session of the state legislature. More on these stories, townhall.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Partly cloudy skies this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 48. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows level off around 35. Tonight, cloudy skies expected. Overcast skies. Tomorrow, high temperatures reach up to 50. A dusting of snow Thursday. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 38.
Hey, this is Todd Gleason from Illinois Extension here with a time change for our daily market report on WHOW. You can now catch our daily review of the commodity markets at 5:06 on all of WHOW's many platforms. You'll still hear all of our commodity analysts and weather professionals each afternoon, but at a brand new time. And you'll still hear the weekly wrap-up of the commodity markets right here on WHOW when Commodity Week airs Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. Remember the time change for the daily closing market report on WHOW at our new time, 5:06 p.m. weekdays.
New trucks and SUVs are here. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. Yes, we've been waiting, and now we have new inventory on our lot for you to see, with more arriving weekly. Plan your next new Chevrolet purchase. Just click on the pre-order tab. You'll see Silverados in 1,500, 2,500, and 3,500. We have Equinoxes and Trailblazers as well. New Chevrolet inventory in stock now at Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
Hey everybody, I'm Buddy Wilson, your new country financial agent in Clinton. Let me help you protect what's important to you at a price you can afford. You can do this by clicking on my icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
For the latest in Central Illinois agricultural news, visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Get updated information on markets, weather, ag news, local interviews with NAFB farm broadcaster Jared White, and much, much more. All at IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
Hey everybody, Buddy Wilson here, your new country financial agent in Clinton. We're all familiar with the 3 whats. What is it? What can you do for me? And what does it cost? At Country Financial, we can help you find the answers with insurance coverage to help you protect what matters the most, all at prices you can afford. While you're juggling work, kids, and keeping an eye on the future, we'll make sure we're one of the first ones there when you need us the most. Call me, Buddy Wilson, your newest country financial representative in Clinton at 217-935-5620. Let's chat about your insurance needs today.
At Central Illinois Outdoors, with me, Jared White, we want you to be a part of the program as well via the Archer's Alley Catch of the Week. Each week, we'll select one of your pictures submitted at CentralIllinoisOutdoors.com and invite you to tell your story of the great outdoors. We're looking for your kid's first catch or even your first big buck. There's a simple, easy form you can fill out on your phone or computer at CentralIllinoisOutdoors.com. Send us your story, send us your pick. CentralIllinoisOutdoors.com and the Catch of the Week, brought to you by Archer's Alley, North 22nd Street in Decatur.
You're from the Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It is brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. Bob Marsh with the Kenney Heritage Association joins us again in studio this morning. Good morning, Bob. How are you, sir?
Hi, Seth. I'm really well. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you, by the way.
To you.
Okay, so what is the cutoff when I can no longer tell people Happy New Year?
I don't know. I would think at least through the month of January.
Okay, all right. Well, and I only see people once a month, so
Yeah,
I'm not going to say Happy New Year to everybody all the time. But anyways, no, we appreciate you making time for us. And big event this weekend for the Kenney Heritage Association. What's going on?
We're going to be hosting our annual Pancake and Sausage Day this Saturday, which is the 14th, from 6 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Community Center right there in Kenney's main street, which is called Johnston Street. Yep.
Tell us about what's going on this day, particularly. What's the morning look like?
Well, it's an all-you-can-eat meal, serving freshly grilled pancakes, and honestly, and I'm not exaggerating this at all, the best sausage I've ever had.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but I was in the foods industry for over 20 years.
Were you really?
Marriott Corporation in different places as a chef and a manager, and the sausage that they serve at this breakfast is the best. We have people who drive from all over just to get the sausage.
No kidding.
Honestly. And
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's a whole hog sausage. And so it's got all the really good cuts of meat, not just the stuff that's left over like a lot of sausages have.
Yeah.
And it's really good. So the sausage is great, but there's still much more because the pancakes are great. You also get juice and coffee and milk, and it's all you can eat. So it's a great event.
Very good. Very good. What's the cost of this, Bob?
It's $8 per person, and it's 6 and under are free.
Okay.
And we'd love to have people come. We serve about 500 people.
No kidding.
Every year.
Yeah.
And people really do enjoy it. It's very much. And tickets are available all over the Clinton area. But you can also just come to the door if you want.
Oh, easy enough. Yeah.
Pick stuff up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Are you at liberty to tell me where you get the sausage from?
Well, the hogs are donated. They have been in the past. We this year have had to go and purchase some additional pork. And then I'm going to say this, but I'm not exactly sure. But I believe from the meetings that I've been in that the processing gets done in Lincoln.
Oh, okay.
At a meat processor in Lincoln.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry
Gotcha.
if I missaid that, but I think that's correct.
Okay. Very good.
Meetings, but it is just outstanding.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
So come out and be a part of this.
Yep.
Anything else going on, whether it be auctions or highlighting things for the Kenney Heritage Association, kind of adjacent to the pancake and sausage breakfast?
Well, the Kenney Heritage Association was established back in the late 90s, mid 90s to take care of that building where we meet. And so when we do things, it's all with that in mind. And we want to maintain a civic presence within the community of Kenney, provide a place for people to come and gather, and to help to propagate and promote the legacy of the village. And it has a really neat history and presence in DeWitt County.
Sure.
And so we do things like during the summer we'll help with the summer festival, and we do activities throughout the year. But this is our main kind of a support raising effort, and then the funds that we raise go into keeping that facility available. When you come on Saturday, for example, the smell and the aroma of the sausage cooking and the pancakes and everything will certainly be there. But if you were to go today and walk through the building, you'd smell fresh paint because the ground floor levels have all been just recently taken care of and repainted and trimmed out. That looks really great. And the money that we raised from, for example, the Christmas tree sale earlier this year, a lot of that went to help keep the building looking good.
Yeah.
And it's good because that building gets a lot of use.
It does. And that's kind of the end of the end goal of everything that you do with the fundraising, the pancake and sausage. You talked about that special Christmas sale, the Kenney Fall Festival, those sorts of things. It's all geared towards making sure this facility remains intact for people to use. That correct?
Right. And I mean, obviously we also are there to just remind people of their history. And so
right.
The building itself used to be part of the International Order of the Odd Fellows.
Okay.
And there was a group of people in Kenney that realized that there needed to be a place for people to gather. And about the same time, the state council for the Odd Fellows decided to give the building to the Kenney Village Board. And so the village made a deal with this group of people who were looking for a place to have gatherings, that if this association that had newly been formed, the Kenney Heritage Association, would take care of the interior of the building, the village would care for the exterior.
Oh, okay.
And so that was set up because everybody recognized the need.
Yeah.
I don't think they had any idea just how regularly that building would get used, though, and how great the need was. Because
right.
As Seth, you and I were just talking off air, the number of weekends where that building is not full are very rare.
That's unbelievable to me. It really is.
It's amazing
that there's that much demand for it. For sure.
Yeah.
Now
they keep our reservation person hopping.
I'll bet they do. I'll bet they do. I want to go back to the pancake sausage breakfast, Bob. I know you're relatively new to the Heritage Association. Do you happen to know like what a ballpark number is for what this event brings in for the Heritage Association?
As far as the financial part?
Yes.
I don't.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. And I know, like I said, I know you're relatively new to the Heritage Association.
But,
so
yeah, like everything, costs have gone up, and it is hard. In fact, we had to move the date this year because of when the hogs were going to be available and when the processing was going to be available, and so we actually moved it up a week or two.
Okay.
To make everything fit within the scheduling.
Really?
And so, it's a cost thing. It's a processing thing.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this sausage is so fresh that the hogs that people will be eating on Saturday were eating grain a week ago.
No kidding.
Actually, just on Sunday.
Yeah.
They were processed.
Yeah.
It's
that's fantastic.
It's really excellent stuff.
Yeah.
And the funds that come in, I mean, it is a worthy cause because of so many people who benefit from the center, graduation parties and family reunions, and funeral dinners, and we have a couple of groups that meet there all through the week, every week, just for their regular like club meetings. It's just great. And then there's the museum on the top floor.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Bob Marsh with the Kenney Heritage Association, my guest in studio for this morning. You brought up an interesting point, and I apologize if I'm throwing kind of a curveball at you. You talked about costs going up. How has that impacted, and even access to materials and things of that nature? How much have those things impacted the Kenney Heritage Association?
It's tough. The cost, for example, of the pancake mix went up like 35%. I mean, it was crazy. And we all know what's happened to eggs. Over recent weeks. I had a guy told me that recently a person came up to him and asked him specifically if he had $7 that he could spare. And,
really?
And the guy said, I happen to have exactly $7 in my wallet, so I kind of saw that as a sign from God, so I gave him the $7. And I said, yeah, but you could have responded, well, I would love to give you $7, but I'm saving up to buy a dozen eggs. It's crazy how food costs have jumped. And, and as much as we want to keep our costs down, it's so hard, and everybody knows. We all know what that's like. Our poor restaurant guys. I used to be in that industry.
Yeah.
It is hard. But I mean, we press forward. That's what we do best.
Well, have you had to adjust? You talked about moving things up, and largely it was more. It sounds like it was more about other things than economics. But for the Kenney Heritage Association, did you adjust prices for tickets this year with those increased costs that you're talking about? Are you increasing costs on rentals or things of that nature?
The rentals haven't been increased on the building. We did have to increase the tickets a little bit this year. It's just the reality of the road we're in right now.
Right.
But it's still a great bargain. It's all you can eat. We do carry outs for you too, if you want to just come and get something and take it home. So we want to be able to continue to do it, and we want to make it as accessible as possible to everybody.
No question. It's one of it's a tough reality for sure, but very good. Well, Bob, I look at the clock. We're coming up on a timeout here. Did I miss anything in terms of the pancake sausage breakfast? Anything you wanted to touch on there that we didn't get to this morning?
I did want to say that if you come in and want to eat there at the hall, you're welcome to do so. We have lots of tables set up. We have volunteers from the 4-H and local community people who come in and help with clearing tables and helping people get seated and things. So if you have any special needs, we'll make sure we take care of you, and we'd love to have you come and just enjoy. And I would encourage you, give a minute.
Yeah, please. Oh, we've got plenty of time. Yes.
I would encourage people who come to take a trip upstairs and see the upper level of the buildings. Just above the level where we serve the meals, there's a second floor that has a ballroom that is just beautiful.
It is.
The early early 20th century construction is just really cool. And then the top floor has a museum where there's paraphernalia from the early village history.
Yeah.
There's uniforms from people who served in the military over the years. There's even some band uniforms from schools, and then a lot of photographs of the classes that have gone through the Kenney School. So it's a really neat place to go.
Yeah, no doubt. And I was the last time we visited years old when I found out there was a third level to that building. I didn't realize that. I thought it all ended at the ballroom there. So which is a magnificent room. That is a really nice.
Is. We kidded with the guy who came to paint the rooms downstairs that that was going to be next, and he almost had a heart attack.
Well, Bob, if you don't mind, one last time before we go to break here this morning, we'll highlight it again after we come back. But just the pancake and sausage breakfast. When, where, how do folks get tickets? And you can get tickets that are like walk up and purchase tickets. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. The pancake breakfast is held at the Kenney Kenney Community Center this Saturday from 6 to 2. And tickets are available from association members around the area, but you can also buy tickets when you come in.
All right. Very good. Yeah. Excellent. So be a part of that. Again, that is on Saturday in Kenney. Bob Marsh, Kenney Heritage Association, joins us in studio this morning. We've got more with him coming up on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
If you're looking for the latest in local hunting and fishing information, then join us for Central Illinois Outdoors with me, Jared White, Saturday morning at 7, Sunday morning at 8 on all WHOW platforms. Every weekend, we'll offer detailed Central Illinois fishing reports, and I'll invite you to share your favorite stories as well. Central Illinois Outdoors with me, Jared White, every weekend here on WHOW and on demand at CentralIllinoisOutdoors.com. Brought to you by Bob Ridings in Pana, the Clinton, Illinois Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau, and Locked and Loaded in Pana.
Central Illinois' leading online source for local news, police blotter, for the record information, obituaries, and more is DeWittDailyNews.com. Since 2008, DeWittDailyNews.com has delivered fresh, online content to internet readers, from the City Council to School Board to the County Board and more. DeWittDailyNews.com covers the local news you expect from the area's #1 local news source, and it's all absolutely free. Now you have even more ways to access DeWittDailyNews.com. Whether you're at your desktop, laptop, tablet, iPhone, or smartphone, DeWittDailyNews.com is delivered to all those platforms. That's right. It's even there on your iPhone and smartphone. The same local news, weather, and sports that's on the full-size edition is on your iPhone and smartphone just by going to DeWittDailyNews.com. If you haven't tried it, why don't you? Go to Central Illinois' leading online source for local news, police blotter, for the record information, obituaries, and more on your desktop, laptop, iPhone, or smartphone. DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. Bob Marsh with the Kenney Heritage Association is with us in studio today. And, Bob, we were chatting in the last segment there about, the pancake and sausage breakfast, which comes up this Saturday for the Kenney Heritage Association. And fundraisers like it go towards maintaining that building, the Kenney Community Center in Kenney, for folks to utilize. And you mentioned just get so much use through the course of the year. And I said in that first segment, like, that's kind of your end purpose, but perhaps I misspoke, because we were chatting in the break about the Kenney Heritage Association. That word heritage in there is in there for a reason. Talk about that.
Sure. And it's really kind of ironic that because I'm not from this area. I've only been here for 2 years this month. And, but I recognize how important heritage is to every culture.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenney has a really cool heritage, and has a unique history. And while right now it's a village of less than 400 people, there are a lot of people who have a history that their ancestors, their their roots are planted there in Kenney, and they feel very strongly about it. And there's history right on. I mentioned last time I was here, the road that I live on is named after two professional ball players, two brothers who came out of Kenney, the Howard brothers. One played for Pittsburgh and one played for the Cubs. That road is also a road that Abraham Lincoln rode when he was making his circuit route from Springfield to Mount Pulaski to Clinton. He went theoretically right by the house that I live in. And then I talked to the folks who are from that city a lot, and they have a long heritage. Their grandparents, their parents.
You probably get a lot of lifers in Kenney.
Yeah, and a lot of close families. I mean, you when you talk to the people, you find that those family names that have been there a long time, have that strength of the community, and it's neat. And honestly, we do well to remember that and to value our past and our heritage.
So how does the Kenney Heritage Association do that?
Well, we do it by serving the community, and really the best way to honor anything is to serve it. And so even just volunteering, there's several of those families, but one in particular just serves so well and so much in every part of the community there in Kenney. And by serving the community, we keep it vital, even when it's very small. Kenney at one time was a thriving area. My brother tells me, he knows more of the history of this area than I, but he tells me that Kenney and Clinton at one time were kind of rivaling to see which was going to be the bigger village, and had some really cool businesses, and still does have a couple. But the reason that it's there and still vital, and the reason that it still is full every weekend with people coming back, is not because we provide a building. There's buildings, they could go anywhere for a building, but they come to Kenney because they value that community. And we want to continue that. For the next generation.
As a man of history, what have you found to be most appealing about Kenney?
I guess I like things that are close knit and that are simple. And I mean simple as far as they're driven by a common purpose. It's not, you don't have to be real complex in order to have an impact. One person, one family can make a difference in a village, and can serve well to people that might otherwise be overlooked. There's an increased focus in our culture on bigger and better and faster, and there's something very, very special about being in a place that is where neighbors still know each other. They still care deeply about each other, where you can take a walk down literally the middle of the street, and hear and experience absolute stillness and quiet, and hear people just enjoying life and enjoy life yourself. So that's a really special thing.
Well, and oftentimes, you talk about close knit and, kind of a togetherness, that a community may have. Often, I don't want to say often, sometimes we'll be resistant to outsiders, and, this is our niche, and you're not a part of this, but it sounds like it's been very welcoming to you.
It has. And I think, so many times what we bring in is what we get out. But there is also in a lot of places, there's resistance to new. And we have found the Kenney community to be very welcoming and very giving, as well as receiving from us. And I'll throw something out. We hadn't really talked about, Seth.
Okay.
But there's a Methodist church in town that had closed a couple of years ago, with COVID, closed down because of the social distancing and all that was going on with that, and it looked like it was not going to be able to reopen, and the building was just sitting empty for the last several years. And a group of folks who were committed to that church knew my background, and I'm a minister by trade and training, and they just walked up to the door and asked if we'd be willing to help them get started again. And so just last Sunday we started having a small service at the church there.
No kidding.
And that's part of the heritage of the city. There's a building there. It's had seen better times, but there's still a heart and a community there. And so just drawing people together, caring about people, having them care for us, and the family that I'm living with, and my mom and JoJo, my sister, in Christ, who was very ill with Parkinson's. They were loved on by this community way before we got here. And so for Carol and I to be here and to be able to kind of give back to the community and to participate in that loving of the community is really special for us.
Will those services continue on?
Yeah, we're gonna go.
If folks want to come out, how do they join you?
Yeah, well, it's just at the Methodist Church. We're going to be meeting there at 8:30 on Sunday mornings.
All right,
and down in the basement.
Okay.
The main sanctuary right now can't be worshipped in, but the downstairs is, and it's cool. And again, it's a place for the community to come together and to love and encourage and strengthen one another. And that's what really that's what the Heritage Center is about too.
Yeah,
it's maintaining community within the community.
I love it. We got 1 minute here, Bob. If you don't mind, take us back to the pancake and sausage breakfast on Saturday. Highlight all the whens and wheres and what we need to know.
Will do. The Kenney Heritage Association is having its annual pancake and sausage day.
You should have one of those too.
Yeah, we will in the fall maybe. But it's this Saturday, the 14th, from 6 a.m. to 2 at the Kenney Community Center on Johnston Street, which is the main drag through Kenney. You get the meal, pancakes, sausage, coffee, milk, juice, all you can eat for $8. Tickets are available from a member of the committee. Let me give you a phone number and a couple ways to contact us.
Please do.
If I can.
Yes.
You can reach the Heritage Association on Facebook. It's just under Kenney Heritage Association. And then if you have any questions, you can call Bobby Morse. This is for reserving a room if you want to have an event there.
Okay.
It's 217-853-0626. If you have any questions about the meal, about this Saturday's event, you can contact me. My number is 607-271-0617.
Very good, Bob. Thanks for coming out this morning.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you once again. Bob Marsh with the Kenney Heritage Association, our guest in studio. Network News is next.
WHOW.
With SRN News,